You are someone who is successful in most areas of your life, and you want your relationship to be a success too. What you don't want is to be 5 years down the track, going through a divorce, splitting up assets, and burying kids between two homes. In this video, I'm going to share 5 secrets to a successful relationship. The same 5 strategies that I have used with hundreds of couples over the years to help them create the relationship they love. But first, let me tell you a story about my friends Joe and Nikki. So Joe and Nikki are the kind of couple that seem to have it all, and somehow manage to juggle it all. Kids, career, travel, fitness, businesses. Their Instagram feed is filled with the most amazing holidays in these beautiful exotic locations. They go to the coolest restaurants and they're constantly just kicking ass in their businesses. From the outside looking in, they have a pretty fabulous life. But here's the thing that even their closest friends don't know. The perfect relationship that they are showcasing isn't the relationship that they're experiencing behind closed doors. If they're being completely honest with themselves, it's not just about putting up the facade for their business or their loved ones. The hardest thing is admitting to themselves that their relationship is no longer the one that they once prided themselves on. The thing is, I've seen many Nikki and Joes, incredibly talented people who have lost their way in their relationship as they've carved out success in every other area of their life. What I've come to learn is that anyone can lose their way. The key to a successful relationship isn't magic, but it is about putting your energy into the right areas of your relationship. And in my experience, when couples understand these 5 key secrets to a successful relationship, it becomes much easier to take that much needed action in their relationship. So what this means is that whenever problems come up in our relationship, we remember that it is us, me and you, the couple, against the problem, rather than you and me against each other. So this also means eliminating blame from your relationship. Couples can get so caught in the blame game, particularly when you are a pretty successful couple, because you tend to be quite time poor. And that's when the blame tends to creep in. So being really mindful to eliminate blame from your relationship. It also means being a cheerleader for your partner. So when you're out and about in the world, you're talking positively about your partner to your colleagues, to your friends, to your family. It's about having each other's back no matter what, and really having this sense of it's you and me against the world. The second one is to make sure that you carve out time to talk about little issues before they become big problems. Again, if you are a successful couple, this can be really difficult. So I highly suggest that you schedule in what I call a weekly check-in. You can check out the link below for all the details on how to have a super efficient, effective weekly check-in with your partner. Thirdly is making sure your relationship fuel tank never runs on empty. So what I mean by this is relationships are give and take, and we need to make sure that we're putting in lots of those positive things, because inevitably life's going to throw us curveballs and things are going to happen. And we need that positive sentiment to draw on in our relationship. What we know from the Gottman's research is actually a 20-to-1 ratio. So you need to be doing 20 positive things for every 1 negative that happens in your relationship. So filling up your relationship fuel tank is really like the little things. It's about doing things like asking your partner how their day is, maybe sending them a sweet message or leaving a note for them, giving them a compliment, sharing an appreciation, spending quality time. So it's all of those little things that fuel your connection with your partner. The next one is filling your individual fuel tank. This is so underrated and so important. If you are not feeling good in yourself, if you are not feeling like you have energy for you, then there is very little left to give the relationship. So it's really, really important that you take care of yourself so that you can be present in your relationship. And your relationship and your individual well-being, they kind of feed off each other. So we want to make sure that we're taking care of both of those areas. And lastly is to make sure that you prioritize affection and pleasure in your relationship. And I highlight this one because when you are busy, this is the thing that tends to get dropped off the list. So it may be like if we're talking about affection, the little things like when you are constantly busy, you're running out the door, you're not taking that moment to connect with your partner before you leave, or you're coming back in from work and you're tired and you're not taking that moment to greet your partner and just spend a moment to reconnect. or you are not responding to messages throughout the day. I'm not saying all of these things are bad things, because they're not. Like, life happens. But the important thing is, if you are prioritizing your affection, then when you have one of those moments, it won't have that negative impact on your relationship. Because as I said earlier, that fuel tank is full. And the other thing is, we need to carve out time for pleasure. It's not all about work. So making sure both in our lives and in our relationships that although we may be spending time doing the tough stuff, doing the important stuff, doing the learning, we also need to create that time for joy, for pleasure, for humor, for connection in our lives. So even though at the start of this video, I said there'd be 5 secrets, I've got to the end and realized I really need to stick in this 6. And the 6 is really about knowing your own body. So knowing when you're in a state of what we call physiological arousal, or you might refer to it as fight, flight, freeze, or being emotionally flooded. It is so important in these moments that you know how to take an effective break. So if you want to understand a little bit more about what happens from a physiological perspective in your body when you're in this state of physiological arousal and how to take an effective break that actually protects your relationship, watch this next video.